Hello again, everyone. This is Writer Coach Tony, and today I'm going to answer. I got several emails from different students, and today I'm going to answer one of the questions they asked me. So, this inquiry asked me um, what is an action research. No? So, how do you go about teaching an action research? So, I've been talking mostly about thesis writing. So, action research is similar to thesis writing. It investigates a certain problem. It evaluates a certain problem. It analyzes a certain problem. So, but the goal is, since it's an action research, um, the goal is for that person doing the study to act on the recommendations. So the difference is this one is less rigorous compared to what a thesis is, but otherwise it follows the same flow of study. It's still you're still studying something. It's just that it's not as rigorous as that of a thesis. So most high school students, it's those in senior high school, are asked to do an action research. So how do you go about it? First of all, make the students become more observant. No, they should observe the school. For example, now there's COVID-19. Um, they should observe how they are learning. Um, because they have to identify a problem that has to be solved. And the only way to do that is to look for variables that they can change. So, for example, okay, let's look at the titles that the DepEd gave. No, um, for example, okay, maximizing parents' involvement in monitoring students' performance. So it means that if parents are more involved with their children's studies, the children will perform better. No? So you have two things. No? So what you're studying is the performance of the kid. So if the parents are more involved, will the kid perform better or not? So that's an example. No? So if you're a high school student, just observe um, what problems really affect you, and and try to solve it by studying the variables that affect it. Okay, so that's the first thing you should do. Identify a problem, and then write it down. No? So in the action research, there's a part that's called the statement of the problem. So that's where you put your statement of the problem, no? Okay, so when you write your action research, the first part is the introduction. So, for example, in the problem we try to discuss, no, the parents' involvement affects students' academic performance. So you can say that for the introduction, you can say that like now many parents are OFWs, many parents work, father and mothers work, so there's less time for children. Um, Children now have gadgets, so they're always distracted. Um, so that's your introduction. You put things, you try to introduce a topic, which is because parents are not involved anymore or are more involved with their children, the academic performance of the children is affected. So that's how you introduce first. But make sure you don't make conclusions, no? Don't say agad na ito ang nakita ko, no? When you write the introduction, just introduce a topic. Do not make any conclusions. Do wag mag-generalize agad, no? So if you know the Itbulaga program, bawal judgmental, don't put your judgments yet, no? Because you haven't investigated anything. just put the introduction, not just say that maybe parents now are there are many OFW parents, and because of that, um, ang nag-aalaga sa kanila mga lola lang nila, lolo, uncles, aunties, no, not their real parents. So because of that, na-affect yung pag-aaral ng mga bata. But you don't generalize that. You just say, we want to find out if that affects the performance of the student. So that is an example of an action research. No? So you have introduction already, then you have statement of the problem, and then you have hypothesis. No? Hypothesis, there's a standard. Your teacher will tell you that. They will teach you how to write a null hypothesis. So teacher, please teach them that. That part, ituturo talaga dapat yan. There's a template you follow. This is a template. There is no significant difference between blank and blank. No? It's like that. For example, there is no significant difference if parents are OFWs and the academic performance of their children. Ganun lang, no? And then that's a null hypothesis. The opposite one would be there is a significant difference between parents who are OFWs and then their kids' academic performance. So, in other words, you're just saying that if the parents are OFWs, mas mataas yung grade ng bata. If the parents are not OFWs, mas mababa ang performance ng bata. No? But that hypothesis is very general. If you go to university, that would have to be that would really have to zone in on certain variables because it's very general. But kung sa high school lang, pwede na, no? Pwede na kasi the goal is just to teach the kids how to be inquisitive, no? To investigate, to find out how they can solve certain problems in the school. So yan yung goal ng action research. So now I mentioned three things already. I mentioned there's an introduction, a statement of the problem, and then the hypothesis. If you're the teacher, I suggest you teach students how to make the statement of the problem and the hypothesis. So, importante yan, no? Teach them how to spot problems. No? Let's say, what can the school do so that students or what can the students do so that they won't be late for their classes, things like that, no? So it's very important na yung mga bata, the senior students, observe the problems in the school, no? Kung bullying ba or academic performance ba nila, no? So and they can go to specific subjects na kung PE ba or math ba, so no. Let's say if the library is more quiet, baka mataas ang grades sila kasi they will study there, no? So we have to look for many problems and then investigate it. So in other words, sabihin mo sa mga estudyante, open your eyes and identify the problems. So the role of the teacher sa statement of the problem is to simplify the problem, no? Kasi usually senior high school students would look at the bigger picture. But you have to remember that you have to finish the action research in just, I think, one sem, no? Or 1 year. So, kung masyadong malaki ang problema na sinasolve mo, you may not be able to finish it. So, make sure na yung thing that you're studying is manageable naman. Kaya gawin kasi you'll be in a group eh. Kaya ng 4 na tao, no? So, the role of the teacher there would be to streamline the statement of the problem. Tapos, titignan niya yung hypothesis kung masasolve ba or hindi, no? And of course, kung worth studying ba siya, no? For example, kung gas-gas na topic, don't do it anymore, no? Look for topics that are interesting, like maybe social media use or self-image ng mga bata, no? Because kids love to, or effect ng TikTok sa mga bata. So, things that interest them. Kasi, if they're not interested in what they're studying, useless lang, no? And your goal as a teacher is to um, teach the senior high school students how to do research, no, formal research. Because when they go to university, if they want to graduate, most of the top schools in the Philippines will ask them to do a real thesis. So, yung actual research that they're trying to do is like a real thesis na rin. Yun lang, yung thesis medyo mas rigorous. So, maraming hinihingi yung advisor sila. But that's still a long way from now. Next step is methodology. So, sa apat na yun that's the fourth. So, introduction, statement of the problem, hypothesis, methodology. So, paano mo gagawin ang studies? Most of the people I coach, they do it by survey. No? Survey kasi is very reliable because of the number of people you survey. No? Maraming tao. Normally, let's say the whole fourth year you survey them. No? So, at least, they usually ask me, gaano kadami. No? Actually, there's a formula you have to follow. But, you have to remember also that, again, the time frame, no? Yung logistics, yung time frame, ilan ba sila sa grupo, kung apat lang kayo, then you have to interview 100 people, no? So, although there's a formula you have to use in the real thesis, since this is just a research project sa school, make it manageable na lang. So, kung ako, maybe at least 100 people, no? 100 respondents. Kasi anyway, apat naman usually yung isang group, so 25 per person, no? So, and all you have to do is give the survey, no, to the person and sasagutin nila. Nowadays, most people answer through email. So, just tell everyone that pakisagot naman, no? So, para you have something to present to your teacher, no? Make sure lang na before you get back the survey na sinagot lahat, ha? Make sure sinagot lahat. So, that's basically the methodology. So, karamihan, they will do survey questionnaire. Some people, pag medyo very focused yung study, let's say, leadership, let's say, about the principal, about department heads. Anyway, in a school, ilan lang mga principal? Isa lang, no? Ilan lang naman ang mga department heads? Maybe per subject, no? Maybe 12 at most. So, you cannot do a survey kasi konti lang sila no? Let's say if you're surveying the canteen, ang cleanliness ng tindera affects the health of the students, mga ganun. So, pag hindi masyado marami, hindi abot ng at least 25, you have to do interviews, yung one-on-one interviews. And normally, I suggest to my students to just do at most 4. Apat na, narami na actually yung 4, no? Pero, at least 4 will give you a more balanced, maraming inputs, no? So, the idea kasi is, if you're doing interviews lang, you have to listen to the interview, you have to answer the state of the problem. Pag hindi siya nasagot, you have to ask those questions again, which is matrabaho. What I mean is, pag hindi mo nakuha yung sagot sa mga state of the problem mo, you'd have to set another appointment, and these people are busy, no? It's not easy to interview your principal. It's not easy to interview your department head, no? So, pag na-interview mo na sila, kaya when you do the methodology and you're doing the interview, make sure your questions match the statement of the problem. So, your teacher will guide you, no, sir, pakicheck, or ma'am, pakicheck naman kung masasagot ba ng mga interview questions ko yung statement of the problem. Okay? So, and then of course, you need letters, you have to set the interview, and then make sure you have like a phone or something that will record, no? Para marinig mo yung interview, and then you transcribe it. Transcribe is, while the person is talking, you just type, no? And then before you do the actual analysis. So dalawa yun, ha? One is you do the actual survey, you let like 100 people answer, or you just interview key people, no? So who will decide on the methodology? Usually yung estudyante na rin, no? Depende sa problema mo, no? Let's say, if your study is, my classmates who drink Coke every day are very fat. So, pwedeng survey, no? Because maraming pwedeng mag-answer, eh. But if you say, um, a principal who doesn't listen to the students um, affects the harmony in the school, no? So you have to interview key people na lang, no? Maybe isang janitor, isang guidance counselor, isang estudyante, no? You make it varied para you get the points of view of different people that are affected by your statement of the problem. So, isipin nyo, ang goal nyo is to answer a certain problem. So, nandun lahat nakatutok, no? So, importante na yung teacher nyo would make the problem manageable. Hindi nyo isa-solve yung problema ng mundo, no? You're just zeroing in on a problem. So, that's a part of the methodology. Paano mo isa-solve yung problem? So, doon na yung part ng data gathering. Okay. If you're a senior high school, I think your teacher now has to teach you how to do statistics, no? Yung basic statistics lang, no? Yung mean, median, mode, weighted mean, and then, kung kaya pa ng batch, no, you have to do standard deviation. Huwag masyado ma-shock. What your teacher can do is just explain how it works and how to analyze it. Because right now, lahat naman nagagawa ng computer. So, ako, I'm hindi naman to math class, no? If you're in math class, maybe you have to solve it. But, since this is just a research class, you let the computer solve it na lang, no? But, your work would be to analyze it. So, ang computer gagawa, input na kayo ng input, but, do you know how to analyze the data? So, yun yung problema, no? So, pero dapat turuan ng teacher niya how to analyze. Let's say, what if I get a score of 4.06? Ano ibig sabihin nun, sir? Yung gano'n, no? So, for the teacher to do this, siguro mga at least 1 month, no? Kasi not all kids love math, eh. Yun yung problema, no? So, dapat i-practice talaga sila how to do standard deviation, how to do mean, median, mode, weighted mean, frequency, you know. I think grade 9, grade 10, tinuturo na yung frequency, you know. Yung how to tally. So, grade 9, grade 10, tinuturo na yun siya, eh. I've seen, because I tutor math, so, it's being taught already, but in this case, this real life na yung ginagawa ng mga bata, no. So, once they get the results, you have to teach them how to tabulate, how to get the frequency, how to get the mean, the weighted mean, and then you need the standard deviation, and you might even need the ANOVA, the correlation, but huwag masyado biglain yung mga bata, no? Yung, the goal lang naman here is to let them find, if, for example, correlation, if there's a correlation between the two variables you're studying. What I would suggest, para hindi naman ganun kahirap para sa mga bata, you make a control group, no? Control group is a group of respondents na wala kang ibibigay na cure. For example, gawin ito simple, yung COVID-19, no? So, itong mga taong to, hindi magmamask, no? So, sila yung control group. Itong mga taong to, yung next experiment, so dalawa yun, no? Control group, then experimental group. Yung experimental group, sila magmamask. So, after 14 days, gaano kadami may COVID, no? So, control group, naging 10. Sa experimental group, wala, no? So, then you have to analyze the data na. So, anyway, that's a very simple example. But in real life, yung control group, wala silang gagawin, no? Wala kang ipapataw na cure. For example, let's go back to the parental involvement, no? Siguro 5 estudyante ang control group mo. Walang tutor sa mga parents, hindi sila tutor, no? For 1 week. Tas may quiz sila. Hanapin mo yung score, no? Then the experimental group, 5 estudyante ulit, pero chinutor ng nanay, no? Lahat sila chinutor, tutor nanay, tatay. So, find out which of the two groups had the higher scores in the quiz. So, ganun, no? So, basta yung control group, ang goal niya is wala kang ibibigay na cure. Bakit? Kasi you want to find out if yung parental involvement nakatulong, no? Sa COVID naman, you want to find out if yung pagsuot ng mask, nakatulong sa pag-stop ng spread ng COVID. So, dapat may control group and experimental group. Pag malaki yung difference, yun na yun, yung standard deviation, that means may statistical significance, no? Pag wala, status quo, no? That means walang effect, no? So, yun ang nangyayari. So, make sure, if you're the teacher, try to understand the statistics and make sure na intindihan ng mga bata, no? Anyway, they'll be working by groups. Make sure na at least isa dun sa grupo magaling sa math. So, don't let them choose their group mates. No? I suggest you choose one na magaling magsulat, you choose one na magaling sa math, and then yung iba yung nauutusan. No? The common problem pag group projects is ang daming complaints, hindi tumutulong, gano'n, no? So, each member has to have, because I taught group projects before, all members has to make a report then, telling me, what each one of them did. So, dapat mag-match lahat yun, no? Si 1, 2, 3, 4, dapat mag-match ang sinasabi niya sa isa't isa. Pag sinabi ng tatlo, walang ginagawa si number 4, sasabi ni number 4, may ginagawa siya, alam na, no? Unless, of course, they're dragging up with the other person. But, how do you prevent that? In school, ma-observe mo na no? In the classroom, let's say, when you're letting them do brainstorming work, makikita mo na sila yung mga So, you go around, check the students, find out how they're gelling as a group, no? But of course, bawal judgmental. Basta observe lang if everyone is cooperating. Yun lang naman ang goal, so that each member should cooperate in the research. So, going back, we did the, yung statistical part. Then, the next part will be the results and analysis na. So, yung bata, kung maganda yung kanyang statistical, tinuro siya sa statistics niya, he or she should be able to analyze the results well, no? Or simply, in a simple manner. Ang importante lang naman dun is, sasagutin niya naman yung hypothesis. Sasabihin niya, there is a statistical significance between blank and blank. There is no statistical significance between blank and blank. No? And then, i-detail niya na yung general results. No? So, you have to teach them, if you Excel maybe, no? Para may graphs kayo, may mga pie chart, no? So, you can teach the kids to be creative. And then after that is the conclusion na. So, what do they conclude? You can conclude that pag hindi nag-mask, mas mataas ang chances ma-COVID. Or pag ang parents OFW, malamang yung patas walang tumutulong na uncle or auntie or lola-lolo, pangit yung isang bata. So, yun yung conclusion na part, no? But of course, that has to be supported by the results. Hindi pwedeng bara-bara. So, tell the students, when you're checking the work na, dapat solid yung evidence. Dapat may ebidensya, no? Let's say, pag sabihin, yung mga nag-interview naman, no? You go to the students na nag-interview lang, you have to read the transcript, no? Basahin mo yung interview. Kung nakinig din pa talaga yung mga estudyante sa interviewing nila, no? And they were able to analyze it properly. So, actually, I prefer more the survey kasi nga mas madali i-check. Yung interview kasi, you have to look at the transcript kung tama yung sinasabi and then match it with the conclusion ng mga bata. No? So, that's harder kasi nga, you have to read the transcripts and it can be long, no? Compared sa statistics na may Excel naman, may SPSS, if the instructor teaches them well how to use it, wala masyadong problema. Okay? So, ang goal nito, so natapos na yung study, nakompleta na yung work ng mga bata. Yung conclusion and recommendations, yun na yung last part, no? Sabihin nila, nag-conclude na sila, and then they have to make recommendations, no? Syempre, kasi nga, action research, di ba? So, hindi pwedeng, sabihin mo lang na, pag hindi ka nag-mask, maka-COVID ka. So, you have to recommend, no? So, dapat yung mga estudyante magsuot ng mask para to lessen the impact, to lessen the transmission of COVID-19. Or, doon naman sa parents, siguro kung wala yung parent, dapat may responsible guardian na nandun sa bahay para i-tutor yung mga bata pag may quizzes sila. No? So parang ganun, no? That's your recommendation. You have to recommend how the problem can be solved. Hindi lang siya basta, si teacher ganyan, ito mga estudyante, si tamad, gano'n, no? Hindi pwede. Dapat kasi action research siya, dapat may recommendation. Okay, so, I think here, the goal is to make the students more inquisitive, no? Huwag mo silang takutin, kasi most people, most students, pag sabihin mo thesis or baby thesis or action research, talagang, oh my God, ano kami, sarado na kagad utak nila. Make it interesting for them, no? In other words, make it real life talaga para pusigido yung mga bata, no? Na pag-aralan. Let's say, let them find out how many hours nagso-social media yung mga classmates nila, yung mga ganun, no? Or it can even be about love, or anything na interests yung mga bata, no? Yung mga senior high school. So, ang goal mo as a teacher, number one, is to make sure maganda yung statement of the problem, na hindi siya boring. It's something new, no? Then number two, make sure maganda ang pagkaturo ng statistics, no? Talagang everybody can compute the mean, no? As I said, may calculator naman, may Excel. If you can teach them how to use a computer, fantastic, no? Kasi the goal lang naman is we have the technology, gamitin natin. Let's itaas natin yung skill ng mga bata. So instead of becoming robots na solve, since kaya naman ng computer, let them improve their analysis skills, no? Yun yung isa na magandang ituro sa kanila, yung pag-analyze ng statistical data. What you can do is you just concentrate on certain formulas, no? Huwag masyado mahirap. Siguro at most, for high school ko ako sa hanggang standard deviation lang. Kung honors class, baka kaya nila mag-ANOVA, baka kaya nila mag-correlation. Pero the simplest the simplest curve, no? Huwag masyado i-push na mahirap kasi anyway, mag-college naman sila and they'll learn it more in college. At least ito, maganda yung foundation nila sa research. Always stress the urgency sa mga bata to do the research agad, no? Not to wait till malapit na yung deadline. So, what you can do is put markers on the calendar. May mga dates, let's say by this week, dapat tapos na yung methodology. By this week, dapat may naka-survey na kayo lahat, no? So, hindi pwede yung, ay sir, deadline na, wala kami masasubmit. Hindi pwede. So, everybody has to be working sabay-sabay, no? Even the laziest group. So, kanina I suggested na when you group them, you make them heterogeneous, no? Isang magaling magsulat, isang magaling sa math, kasi yung iba mautusan, no? Yun. Kaya hindi pwede yung lahat ng matalino isang group, lahat ng mga geologs isang group, ay nako, hindi pwede, no? It'll destroy, walang kawawa yung mga may hina, no? So, to be fair to everyone, make sure at least may 2 top students per group para naman uusad yung project. Okay, so I hope nakatulong to. If not, if you have any more questions, just email me, tonyfabe, TONYFABE @gmail.com, or my Viber and my WhatsApp is down there. Pwede nyo i-check agad. You can add me in my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram. And then please subscribe to my channel. Para I want everyone to participate. If you have any questions, just message me immediately. Thank you very much. Keep safe, everyone. Good night.